and operation of a secret regime for over 2.5 years, from February 1943 until the liberation of the camp, was a moral book and allowed the prisoners to follow the progress of the war. Discovery would have resulted in a certain death for those involved. Following the unconditional surrender of the Japanese army on 15 August 1945, the camp was liberated on 11 September 1945 by the Australian 9th Division. On liberation, the camp population was 2,024, of whom 1,392 were prisoners of war and 395 were male civilian internees and 237 were civilian women and children.
Dunia suara sikit. Kita tak kena, memang kena record.
Among official Japanese secret
Test 1 2 3 test testing 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 testing test
Halo. Kalau sini lebih kuat. Kalau dia macam buka buku ni. Kalau aku tulis ni suara dia kuat. Kena ada mic ni.
Ya, masalah ya. Masalah ni.
Ada mic tu.
Mic.
Bukan dapat dengar tu. Ada dengar.
Dengar tapi dia tak
Cantik lah.
tak cantik lah sebab nanti kita kan nak pakai AI untuk transkrip nanti tak jelas bila tak jelas tak jadi.
Kita try dengan mic memang tak jelas ke sebab memang kita tak ada kamera.
Lagi kau cakap
Kita cuba buka pasal dulu. Dah.
Memang tak jelas.
tak ada soalan.
Kita soalan ni.
Itu buat tu.
Bagaimana melakukan lagi sebelum disebutkan dengan perbuatan ni? Sama saja.
Nah. Kita dengar.
Halo.
Test 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3. Cubaan suara 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Cubaan suara 1 2 3. 1 2 3 cubaan suara 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 dan 9 ke 10 di akhirnya.
Jadi masih
Ambil satu phone, letak atas tu.
ini.
Macam tu je bagi. Weh ada ni.
Keju.
Taruh. Boleh?
Testing 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3 testing 1 2 3.
and following it.
Sekejap nak start sekarang tu bila? Kau dah ready? Dah 20 jam tak? Ni minit ke-8 lebih kurang tengok dah.
Apa dah nak ni boleh tengok ni. Dah live pasti. Itu tak 8 minit je lah.
Apa?
Apa?
Kau ready dengan benda ni je? Ready juga ni tak nampak? Ready ya? Tak nampak mana dekat-dekat? Ada? Jadi
Salam sejahtera dan selamat datang saya ucapkan kepada semua yang hadir. Yang dihormati Tuan Penceramah, barisan pensyarah, para tetamu dan warga IPJM Kampus Batu Lintang serta rakan-rakan pelajar sekalian. Terima kasih kerana meluangkan masa untuk bersama-sama dalam program kita pada hari ini yang bertujuan untuk meneraka dan memahami latar belakang penubuhan IPJM Kampus Batu Lintang, sebuah institusi yang telah banyak berjasa dalam dunia pendidikan di negeri ini dan juga di peringkat negara. Program ini diadakan bukan sahaja untuk menyelami sejarah kampus tercinta kita, tetapi juga untuk menanamkan rasa bangga dan cinta terhadap tempat yang telah menjadi sebahagian daripada perjalanan pendidikan kita. Sebelum kita mulakan majlis, kami menjemput Dr. Habib Muhyiddibah untuk memberikan ucapan alu-aluan. Majlis mempersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, selamat datang. Terlebih dahulu kita mengalu-alukan ucapan selamat datang kepada semua, especially kepada Mr. Edu Mansel dan rakan-rakan yang hadir di majlis pada petang ini. So our session will be conducted in Bahasa
bahasa and English that's one. So kepada pelajar saya, jangan takutlah nak bertanya. Tak faham English tu, tanyalah dalam bahasa Melayu. Mr. Edward boleh cakap bahasa Sarawak pun dia boleh. Dan as long anda bertanya. Jadi kita sangat bertuah pada petang ini. Ini kali pertama kita ada sesi untuk pensejarahan Batu Lintang daripada zaman Jepun sehingga zaman kolonial dan mungkin selepas pembentukan Malaysia 1963. Jadi bukan mudah untuk saya dapatkan Mr. Edward untuk memberi talk di sini. Beliau adalah pakar dalam bahagian pensejarahan zaman Jepun. Jadi kita ni ada bahagian pengkhususan masing-masing. Detail saya tak mau nak cerita, nanti Mr. Edward akan tunjukkanlah apa di dalam sesi ceramah beliau. Jadi untuk tidak mengambil masa yang panjang bagi pihak pengarah, kami mengalu-alukan kedatangan semua visitor ke sesi ceramah pensejarahan Batu Lintang zaman Jepun hingga zaman kolonial. Dan dalam sesi selepas sesi ceramah nanti kita ada sesi Q&A. Jadi anda juga boleh bertanya tentang prospek kelancongan daripada tapak sejarah ini. So that's it for me. Saya serahkan balik kepada pengacara majlis. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Dr. Habib atas ucapan sebentar tadi. Seterusnya, majlis menjemput Sir Edward Mansel untuk memberikan ucapan. Majlis dengan segala hormatnya menjemput.
Now, can you hear me at the back? Ini pakai speaker. So, selamat tengah hari kepada semua peserta. I'm very happy to see all the young people here to attend this very important historical event. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I was born very long time ago during the Japanese time, towards the end of the war. I went to school, and after I finished my primary education, I don't want to continue with my studies because I am a lazy man. I love adventure. So I joined the Department of Agriculture, and I like to travel to the Ulu. And in those days it was very difficult. And then I was transferred to a station to look after crops grown in the experimental station. And I learned a lot, and my classroom was in the open. My classroom was under a tree. So I gained a lot of experience by asking a lot of questions to my superior officers, and they're very pleased with me. If you want to learn, you must be humble. That's my message to you. Don't be afraid to ask. Even some very simple, stupid question, you have to ask, because sometimes we take things for granted, and the thing that we say is wrong. So don't be shy to ask them, all right? So that's for me, and I will tell you a little bit more about myself. My personal life. I'm part of the history of the Second World War. All right? And we have some gentlemen here, ladies and gentlemen here. I will introduce them as we go along. That makes the story very interesting. Right? Okay. Now, my topic this afternoon is all right? Now, history of Batu Lintang Teachers Training College, Institute Pendidikan Guru Kampus Batu Lintang, in other words, and how this Batu Lintang started. this camp started. So there was a defense treaty between there was a defense treaty between the Raja government before the war and the British government. The British were having war in Europe, many wars. So the Raja government in those days, in 1930 something, they contributed a lot of money to the British government in order to support the British government war effort in Europe. And in turn, this so Great Britain fought various wars in Europe against other nations, notably during World War II, 1914 to 1918, and again in World War II, 1939 to 1945. That was the war in Europe. And the Raja of Sarawak, Sir James Brooke, and his successors continued to give Britain war efforts at various times, most notably during World War II. And these are the contributions you can see here, a lot of money being given to the British government. And sure, if you cannot see here, later on I give all this to you. Everyone must have this one. Now, in return, the Raja expected Britain to take over all responsibility for the defense of the kingdom and the cost of it. Now, that is why it was for this reason that Britain dispatched 2nd Battalion, 15th Punjab Regiment, based in Singapore for the defense of Sarawak. Now, Punjab Regiment, named after a province in north of India. It's not right for you to say Punjabi Regiment. Our local mindset, if you say Punjabi, the man in a turban. That is not true. Punjab, the people of Punjab, they are Muslim, they are Hindus, they are Buddhists, not necessarily people with a turban. So that's clear, huh? Right. Now, defense treaty, and the 2nd Battalion Punjab Regiment, that is the motto, and these are what they look like, the soldiers. British officers, they are part of the British Indian Army. And the regiment was raised in India as part of the British Indian Army. It comprised mostly European officers and Indian nationals, Sikh, Punjabis, and the rest. And the duties were to defend the Miri oil field, and in case of Japanese invasion, to destroy all important installations that can be used by the enemy. So 1 battalion, 1,000 strong, they cannot fight the Japanese. The Japanese came here 10,000 troops. Their job is to demolish anything that is useful to the Japanese, especially oil in Miri. That's their job, not to fight, not so much to fight the Japanese. Now, the regiment arrived in Ceramah on 21st December 1940, 1 year before the war. And the regiment was based in Batu, Lintang, site of the present Batu Lintang Teachers Training Institute. And when they first arrived here, there are not many of them, not the whole battalion, but some of them, few hundred, they were encamped at Stabah Quarry, 7 Mile. where the airport is. Then, by April 1941, that will be about 8 months before the war, then they moved to Batu Lintang because this camp was not completed yet. So this camp was built by the Raja for the headquarters of the 2nd Battalion, Punjab Regiment. Now this is the old one, you can see here. The post is original, but this one is new. It doesn't look like it. This is the one that it looked like, but in 1960s, when Batu Lintang became the Teachers Training College, they renovate this one. They put they improved this one and invested roof and so on. And this you can see near the other side. Let me see. Okay. This was used by the sick day. People who were sick. They put a student who was sick, they put there. So at that point of time, my wife was a teacher here. She looked after the sick people. She was trained here long time ago, before you were born. Right? Now, this is Punjabi ammunition dump, where they put the ammunition, explosive, rifle, everything. It's a strong room, and it's still here. And we're very happy that the developer, they do not disturb this stuff. They put a fence around it because this is a historical site, right? Now, why the Japanese came here? The Japanese were involved fighting the Chinese way back in 1937. China is a very big country, 20 times the size of Japan. And the Chinese were very strong resistance, and the Japanese only able to occupy the coastal area, the big cities, not the interior. And in order to prolong the war in China, the Japanese need natural resources. When the war started, Japan has got only 2 years supply of oil. So there must get the oil somewhere. And also rubber and also teak for their war machine. So that is why they came to invade Southeast Asia. Now, this is on 6th December. The Japanese Southern Army, the Japanese army stationed in southern China, they were the ones who invaded Southeast Asia. On the 6th of December 1941, the task force sailed southward from Cam Ranh Bay. They were stationed here. Cam Ranh Bay, if you remember, during the Vietnam War, is a very deep seaport where they have all the big battleships there. And so the majors of Cam Ranh Bay assembled their troop ship, and then they go to Malaya for what? For tin and rubber. Then to Indonesia for cheap labor. And Sarawak, Borneo, very important. Oil. Miri, Tarakan, Balikpapan. Miri produced the best diesel oil, less smoke. And then Tarakan and Balikpapan, they produce the best premium petrol. American call them something like high octane gasoline, American term. Huh? So in those days, the fighter plane use piston engine, like your car engine. So they fly high altitude, and when they fly high altitude, they need premium petrol, not the one that you use for your car. Much bigger grade, higher grade. Huh? So that's why they come to this place. Huh? Now, so Japanese advanced to Malaya and Singapore in December 1941, and they came from the back. And there are also 140,000 British, Australian, Indian troops in Malaya. So their focus was towards the sea. They expect the Japanese coastal invasion, but the invasion never came from the sea. They came from the northern part. And this is their propaganda. This is how they attacked the launch. And the Japanese landed on the northern part, Thailand and Songkhla, and also part of Malaya. So they came down using bicycle all the way down. And within 6 weeks, they were in Singapore. So all these soldiers, they retreated and concentrated in Singapore here, and then they make a blunder. So this British troop was under Lieutenant General Arthur Percival. He was the officer commanding of all the British, Australian, Indian and local troops. He was the commander, and he made a blunder. So he retreated too fast. This is the reservoir. They call McRitchie Reservoir. So the moment the Japanese got hold of this McRitchie Reservoir, they threatened to poison the water. Like it or not, the Australian, the Allied forces, they had to surrender. Otherwise, everybody will die. So that's the fall of Singapore. And the man who is very responsible for that is General Yamashita. Yamashita, they also known as the Tiger of Malaya. And actually, General Yamashita, he was very nervous. He has got only 30,000 men, but he gave the impression that he was very, very strong, moved forward and very fast, giving the impression that he was a very big army. So he took a gamble and he won it. And after the war, he was the one who occupied Singapore. And then Singapore fell. Now comes the next one. British surrendered in Singapore. So what happened when the British surrendered? This is how they look like. And British forces surrendered at Fort Motor Factory, Bukit Timah Road. This is Bukit Timah Road. Where is it now? I don't know, because now Singapore has changed a lot. And this is General Percival. He surrendered to the British because Yamashita was a full general and he was only a lieutenant general, one step below, so he has got to surrender to the Japanese. And this one is Colonel Sugita, and he was educated in America. Most of the people that speak good English, they were educated in America, right? So intelligent officer, and you can see General Yamashita banging the table. These are the British officers to get the unconditional surrender at Bukit Timah. And Japanese brutality in Singapore, the moment they occupy Singapore, they got hold of this Punjabi prisoner of war and they used that for bayonet practice. And the babies, they use the bayonet, throw the baby up and use the bayonet. Yeah? And you can see here, this is for Chinese. Chinese lady with a baby. Look at the baby there. And you see the samurai there. And they cut off the head of this poor Chinese lady. And these are the prisoner of war. They use it for practice, shooting practice. Their brutalities. During the war, something like 70 to 80,000 people died in Singapore during Second World War. Right? Now, then after Singapore, they came to Sarawak, landing at Tanjung Lobang Beach, Miri, 16 December. You can see there, this Tanjung Lobang Beach, and this troop ship, they carry this man, and they put on this little dinghy, a little boat, and it was December, big wave, and many of them drowned in Miri. So they climbed this Tanjung Lobang. This is the Japanese invasion convoy arrived in Miri, landed at Brighton Beach, and quickly secured the oil field address. This is Tanjung Lobang. How many of you from Tanjung Lobang? Yeah, from Miri. Next time you go to Miri, this is Tanjung Lobang. This is Brighton Beach. So they landed here and they climbed. This is the lighthouse. And they are also grave there in the lighthouse. Next to the lighthouse is Second World War Memorial. commemorating the many Serapians, Indonesian, Indian, and Japanese who were engaged in developing Miri and Sui Oilfield that died during the war. So there's a memorial there too. So that lighthouse is here. So today, if you want to go to this place, you have to go to the secondary school college. After college, then they open the gate for you. So permission is going to be asked. Now, this is the in Syria for the oil. And when they found out that the Punjabi have destroyed the oil field, the Japanese were very angry, and they get hold of these other people and torture them, and then they were very cruel to the civilian population, and that is why during the Second World War, many people go to the Ulu to live with the Chibans and so on. And as the young girls, the Japanese were looking for the young girls like you. They want you to work in the brothel. Cannot say no, huh? So that's why a lot of these young girls, they marry old men like me. In those days. See? This is the effect of the war. So, 16th of December, and the Japanese landed there on the 24th of December, 1 week later, because of the big wave. So they couldn't work. So they had to postpone. So from Miri, they sailed in three cruise ships together with this So this is the destroyer, the escort, and this is Damai Beach. You've been there? And then we have this torpedoed by the Dutch submarine. There's a 3 troop ship. This is the one, this one, this one, this one. See? Today, you want to go to, people were saying that they go fishing, a lot of fish in this wreckage. So, you hear some people going to this wreckage, and this is a troop ship. Now, this troop ship, they carry administrative staff of the Japanese, not for this, administration staff. So, when the shipwreck was there, and then after 3 days, the body began to float. Already expanded, full of water floating on the surface. So the Japanese appears, Japanese officer with the samurai appeared in the Malay village and grabbed hold of some unfortunate Malay who happened to be there and asked these people to extract their semi-decomposed body and bury them around that area. That is why this is story. A little bit of story of the Second World War related to it. When this Ceramah Beach, the hotel, was opened, it was a Sheraton. It was a Sheraton. So this Sheraton, white man, the manager, the Chinese were the contractor. So the Chinese said, you must do something to appease the spirit because many people died there. What rubbish? Alright. So after the hotel was completed, the opening day, 10 o'clock in the morning, a 16-year-old girl drowned in the swimming pool. How deep is the swimming pool? Drowned. So these are the people that we believe, local people believe, that the spirit were angry. They want some sacrifice, which was not given in the first place. And years later, even today, my niece was working there. Nighttime, one room called. Somebody called. I wanted breakfast. Take the room. Did mana ada tu? Nobody's there. You see, the spirit is still. People who died a violent death without proper funeral, the spirit are moving around. They're restless. That's why when people die, they must be buried, say prayer and so on. And this is the result of it, because of that. And that is why son to born, you find months to born, People get lost. For what? No reason. No? Right? So we have to incorporate the story. So when we tell people, these are the story we tell, not in textbook. Right? Now, so the Japanese, they do not use the main Ceramah river because they know that the Punjabi waiting for them. So they detour. They make use of Santubong river, this one here, the other side, Salak area. They bypass this main Ceramah river. They use the back part. And you can see the Mata, Punjabi in Mata. Right? So the Punjabi was on the top of this hill, but they couldn't see the Japanese. Because why? Before the war, they were Japanese. And they were seen to fish. They're selling very, very cheaply. They go bicycle from one kampung to another kampung, but they took that. In those days, mana ada satellite. There's no proper map. So, they tulis, letak semua where, who, and what. And after that, then the report. So these three of them, in the evening, they go fishing in the waterfront. Fishing, measure for them. Everything done. All these are the spies, you know. And after that, when the Japanese landed, visible by the officers. They did the Japanese. So 3 days before the Japanese landed, they disappeared into thin air. Nobody see them, but they were already in connection with the landing Japanese troop, right? Okay. Now this one, you can see the pillbox here. You see? Masih ada. Now, Japanese internees in Kuching. So, on the same day, Pearl Harbor was attacked, 7 December. 38 Japanese male were grounded up and interned at the government house. So in the 1930s, there were about 100 Japanese. So they asked the Raja permission to plant rubber and rice at Ceramah. And Ceramah estate, you can see the remains of those Japanese there. The small temple, still there, you can see. And then their job was to plant rubber, exported directly to Japan. Rice in Japan, because they know that the war is coming. So, not only that, we also have these Japanese who work in the plantation. They go around to Bau area looking for mercury. Ada mercury. Dekat Bau, ada gold dekat Bau. So they're looking around for all these things, looking around for some mineral. So they look at the places. Now, there will be another story. And this used to be the government rest house. Today, it's occupied by the Sarawak and Borneo Cultures Museum. The same site. But in those days, before the war, there was no hotel. So the British officer, they served in the Ulu. So when they come to Kuching, they want to go to England, where do they stay? Rest house. And rest house look like a hotel. It's more or less like a hotel, but government rest house. So they stay. Now people like us cannot stay there, only the officers they can stay there. So this rest house was there, and later on it was demolished. So the women and children, and this rest house was used to house these 38 South Japanese. Before the war, they were interned there. You read? Yeah. So, there's the man, they rob up all the Japanese, together them, masuk ke Sejarah, intern, before the war. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, about the same time, all these Japanese here, they were put in this house. And the women and children, St. Teresa school, you don't see this building anymore. Sudah dibuat, dirubuh, ya. Then the internees were released when the Japanese landed in Kuching, 24 December 1941. And Japanese came here Christmas Eve, 1941. Tomorrow Christmas, this afternoon they landed here, right? Christmas Eve. Now, this is the General Post Office, headquarters of South Defence Force, General Post Office. And the man in charge is John Lai Knox, Secretary of Defence. He was the Secretary of Defence. Actually, he was a New Zealander. He worked here as cooperative officer. Cooperative. So during the war, he was the Secretary of Defence. And this is the doctor. Judy Pearson.
It's right. Yeah.
So she is now with the husband, living in the flat here. Like a flat, huh? Why she choose this place? Because the father was killed here during the war. This is a living testimony. Next time, you like to speak to her? Talk about the Second World War?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to anyone. Yeah. Been here 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Malaysia, my second war.
That's right.
That's right. Two, yeah. Second World War.
Yeah.
I will introduce one by one. All right. Now, the road named after her, after the father, Jalan Knox, but there's no S there. But now they put the word S already. I pointed it out. So the people, the Hanghua community was very happy because now they make tons of money because of my father. Teach them how to do cooperative, and they carry it out very well today. You talk to the people in Hanghua, in Sungai Pong, they say Jalan Knox. That's why they have Jalan Knox there, named after the father. Okay, right. This is history. Okay, part of history. Now, when the Japanese landed here in the afternoon, they were fighting in this Satok area, fighting with the Fujians. Some of them went over to Astana, and then some went to Fort Margarita. So from Fort Margarita, they planted Japanese flag, and they used a dinghy to cross the river. There they go to this post office. So the people in the post office, mostly some British officers and Chinese officers, so they were caught. No shot being fired. So the moment they arrived in this post office, they tried to destroy all the important documents. So after that, they came out, the Japanese got hold of them, and they put them in the middle of the road. Here, Batu. You remember this one? This road, post office is there, and this was Batu. They put them there, sitting on the road, to be humiliated by the local people. See, because Japanese, they were telling the local people, hey, last time you said tuan, now you know what happened. See how we Japanese, how strong we are. This is the purpose of them. From 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, sitting down. And then 6 o'clock, they were removed. The Chinese were allowed to go free. Then the 6, 7 European, they were brought to the Astana. To the Astana here. And below this one, if you have been to the Astana, below this tower, there's a staircase. 10 feet. Staircase. Below the staircase is a rectangular thing. The door, this stick, the board is precise. No ventilation for them to put the documents, strong room. There they put all the European there for 48 hours, no food, no drink, nothing. And they tie them up. If one move, it causes discomfort to the other. So the 48 hours, nothing. No ventilation. Just a little bit of air coming in. So they suffer a lot. And from there, on Boxing Day, that is the 26th of December, 2 days later, they were brought to the Central Police Station This one here. Now, here you can see the police station today, but in those days, the last place that you want to visit is a kind of grey thing and not friendly looking and all that. Huh? So this good there. And what happened there is very interesting. Very interesting. Now, we backtrack a bit. In the 1930s, there was a Japanese, like I told you just now. One of them married local. This is the Kimura family. This is the Badayu lady. This is the Japanese Kimura. And this is what it looked like in those days. In those days, they put on this cockhead, pakai tie, riding bicycle. Riding bicycle in those days is just like having a Mercedes, you know. Not everybody can ride bicycle. It's not very few bicycle. Only the gentlemen of the days pakai bicycle juga, pangkat pesawat in those days, right? And this is the Kimura family, married, they have children. This is and this Kimura was my grandfather. My Japanese grandfather. This is my Badayu grandmother. So, my family, partly Japanese. This is my mother. This is my English father. 3 in 1. So next time you don't copy 3 in 1, you remember. Alright? I was born in, this is my naked picture. See? Then, this is what I look like. My mother liked to have a girl, but I was born a boy. So she raised me as a girl. There was 1940, I was born in 1942, January 1942. So I remember part of it. When the war ended, I still remember it. Okay? So, my father, with a lot of European officers, they tried to escape to Indonesia. They want to go to Australia through Indonesia. So they used these 40 of them with their wife, with their family, including Macpherson. Andrew Macpherson was the resident. So my father was the postmaster in Cebu. And Andrew Macpherson was the resident, the boss. So Andrew Macpherson married Ivan Chinese from Kapit. So they had children, Ujang Macpherson and siapa nama seorang? I can't remember. And our Minister of Tourism last time, siapa nama tu? Shukri was, Macpherson was Shukri's grandfather. Because Andrew Macpherson, the resident, later on he married Ivan Chinese wife, and when Macpherson died, the daughter married Cikgu Shukri. So that's why they were related. So this is story, yeah. So what happened? They go up, they drive all the way, bukan drive, pakai two boat, speedboat, all the way to Batang Rajang, right up to River Batu, yeah. So they want to cross to this long Nawa. So 1 month they travel, and this is how they travel. This is a new picture, but to tell you how difficult it was. And the last part they used Ivan using the pedal. And 3 weeks like this, 1 week they have to walk in the jungle to reach a place called Long Nawang. And this is the Dutch military outpost. So they stay there for about 8 months. Then in August, the Japanese came from the other side, Mahakam River from the Indonesian side, and they massacred everybody, including my father, everybody. The men they put them and they shot them with a machine gun and put them in a mass grave. The ladies, the 2-year-old baby, 2 months-old baby, they use the has to climb the tree and then they use the bag. And 1 week later, in the Kenyah area, so they get hold of the Kenyah. This is dynamite. You go down river and get a fish, which they do. They didn't see, but one person saw. Young boy saw that they used to kill the women with the venom. Very painful death. Huh? So after that, the bodies were exhumed from this grave, Long Nawang grave, and these are the officers, and they reburied them in Tarakan Island. So from Tarakan Island, now they moved to Surabaya, the final one. So this is the one in Surabaya. That was the metric to Surabaya. All these people who died here, the government people who died. Huh? There are more people died here as well. Now, then come on to Lintang. We come on to Lintang too. Huh? First, the Japanese came here and they also had spies well before the war. So these 3 ladies, Japanese lady here, is behind the police station. Ada another Kaiju Lake and notorious red light district. You want to take opium, you take massage, everything, semua ada. So these ladies, they entertain government officers. You know, mabuk pergi sana, mau minta urut, and they will even sake the rice wine to loosen the tongue. So information, they get all the information, go to the industry, straight to Japan. So when the war started, the list, complete list of who and who are there. Semua ada. So the capital, they just look at the list, report yourself. That's it. Good. Now, so the original Punjabi battalion camp was taken over by the Japanese in 1942 when these Punjabi they ran away. They were fighting, they lose the battle, and this camp was taken by the Japanese. So it became a Japanese prisoner of war and internist camp. So the prisoner of war men in uniform, internist, civilian. Very rare. So here they combine. Now, the camp was extended to 50 acres and surrounded with 5 miles of barbed wire perimeter. And within the perimeter, ada lagi 9 compound, all fenced up. So total 5 miles. The camp was divided into 9 compounds, each of which was surrounded by barbed wire fencing. And British officers, Dutch officers, Australian officers, Indonesian officers, Roman Catholic priests, they're all separated. Cannot talk to each other. All fenced up in the 50 acres. Now, this is, you must be wondering where the prisoners come from. So when Singapore surrendered, 40,000 of them, some of them went to Thai Burma. Many of them died. Thai Railway, you heard of that, ada pergi Sabah, some of them go to Sabah, Sandakan camp. Now they go to Batu, 3 places. They split them out. So the successful one was Batu, not many before. Sabah, 2,500. They marched from Sandakan to Ranau. Ranau is near KK, 100 miles, 60 miles or so in the jungle. So if they died, they were shot. So 2,500, only 6 survived because they tried to escape. The rest all died. Massacred by the Japanese because the Japanese don't want them to tell the story after the Second World War, when the war ended. So they don't want publicity. You know? This is what it was like, Batu Lintang, long time ago. This is Colonel Suga. This is a very interesting man. A story about him. Now, as a young man, young boy, he always followed his elder brother to church. He played, well, maybe some organ or something. And his brother was the founder of YMCA in Yokohama. YMCA, Young Men Christian Association, the brother. he was a priest. Yeah. So, when he grew up, he joined the Imperial Japanese Army and he fought in China. So he was wounded. When he was wounded, he asked the nuns, Catholic nuns, what can I do for you? Do nothing for us. Next time you see the Catholic nun, be kind to them. So actually, Colonel Suga, after that, he left the army in 1937 because of his old age, not fit to be in the infantry anymore. He got his pension. With his pension, he supported his 6 children in Yokohama, and he sailed to the United States to attend the University of Washington to teach English as a second language. So he was very good in English. So he taught in various places, China, Korea, Formosa, today is Taiwan. He taught all over the place, teaching English. And when war broke out, he volunteered to be the commandant. So he was in Sabah. And when he was in Sabah, that's where he met a lot of this Agnes Kid story later on. So he came to Kuching and he was made in charge of all the camp in Kuching as well as Sandakan. They were overall in charge. Then he was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. What's that? Right. Now, so this is the camp commandant. You can see here, you can see the post. This is the way he was office, commandant of Islam. And he lived in Kuching, I think one road in Kuching, Pisang Road or something. Every day he drive up there. He doesn't live here. Yeah? But he was kind to the young people. The children get ice cream, but he has to be very careful of himself. Because his number 2, Captain Yamamoto, he doesn't want to give the impression that he was good to the prisoner of war. Because with this Captain Yamamoto reported into the captain, there will be end of it. So he had to be very careful. Right? Now, this is prisoner of war Batu Lintang. This is how they suffered. Look at that. And all this torture and so on going on. And after the war, I heard stories that local people, they said that the Japanese were good, Chinese were bad. Because when towards the end of the war, most of these soldiers, infantrymen, they were killed. So they have to bring this infantrymen. They're not allowed to, so they don't want the infantrymen to look after the camp. So they recruited young people from Taiwan, from Korea, to be the camp guard, because the infantrymen, they go to fight. So they make these young people very cruel. So twice a week, they have to line up, facing each other, and slap each other's face as fast, as hard as possible, to put them in a very bad mood. If they're not cruel to the prisoner of war, they get also being beaten up by the Japanese. So the evil was the Japanese, not the young people, the poor young people. Right? So that's the story. Yeah? Right. Now, again, in this part of the world, many things happened during the war, and people were curious. Hey, how come this couple, white couple, having these brown-colored babies? So they were wondering, curious. So the story goes like this. You like to hear the story? It happened in Lintang, among the Bisaya people. Bisaya, you know Bisaya people in Lintang? There was pre-war days, so they have their traditional belief. So this a mother gave birth to a baby, twin, bad omen. When she delivered them, the 2 babies, the mother died. Another bad omen, brought bad omen. So what happened? The elders discussed, or according to our belief, the young they all babies must be buried alive with the dead mother in the same grave. So they came to the rescue. These are the two to Mr. Busher. This missionary adopted the two. When war broke out, they brought these two toddlers here. And this man now is cut. Child prisoner of war. Child prisoner of war. The only surviving child prisoner of war.
Yes.
He is the icon of Batu Lintang. And after the war ended, he went to Australia, to school in Australia for 10 years. He speaks like Australian descent. Say hello to him.
Hello. What should I say?
You find the story interesting?
Well, the story what I heard is more to say. I've heard the story about myself many times, and I really don't know much about it. But yes, I'm glad to meet you all, and so it's, what should I say?
Say hello to them. They want to hear your accent.
I wish you the best, and it is glad to meet you, and to be one of the living history. I would say yes, living history. The only living history. As far as I know, I'm the only one left. As far as this war and all this Japanese and all that, I'm the only one left. So I should say I was a lucky one. So I'm happy to meet you all, and I wish you the best, and I'm not that good.
Confident you will be here again next year.
Oh yes, yes, oh yes, and yes, I hope I'll be here, and thanks for inviting me. May I ask you your second year, third year? Third year, or third year? First year. Oh, first year. Okay, keep learning, and you have what more? 3 more years? Four more years. Okay. And have you any idea what you would like to be once you finish? Would you like to be a teacher? Would you like to be what you call a businesswoman? Or would you like to be a married woman? And so on. So I wish you the best, and it's nice to meet you all. Yes.
And he has written a book, written by him, about his life. And this book was sent to England. Queen Elizabeth II read this book with great interest. See? Historical. I was reading this. And then I happened to meet him. I knew him very long time ago. Way back in the late, when he came back from Australia, the two brothers, his twins, his name is, sounds Kuchao, but not Kuchao. This right? The other brother was Stephen. So after they completed their studies in the Shell Technical Trade School in Syria, so the brother went to England and he remained. Now, when he was in Syria, 1957, 58, 59, I was there. And he was a very tough person, young man. He played hockey, he played rugby, he played football, and in athletic, throwing event, javelin, discus, very tough, the two brothers. but his other brother is normal. And after he completed the technical training, he worked for Shell for a while, and then one day he decided to go to Kuching. There he met his Malay wife. So converted to Islam, and his new name is Jali bin Abdullah. Jali bin Abdullah. And got children, grandchildren, and all the children are very well educated, holding high posts. This is the granddaughter, Risa, granddaughter. Ajar dekat Unimas. Jadi apa? International studies. International studies, yeah, the granddaughter. All the family were well educated. Hopefully that next year we can invite you again to be an icon, because this is very good storytelling.
I have to be invited to.
Yeah, have to be invited. Okay, thank you. Right. So this is like in Sydney, Australia, 1945. Australia, you know. Allied prisoner of war grave, Batu Lintang, that part, it was rubber gun. So, in the early stage of the war, people died or they are buried to Roman Catholic cemetery, Anglican cemetery. But when many people died, they cannot send them there anymore. Even they have to share the coffin. Coffin, satu coffin, put the body, bring there, look at the body, put outside and then one coffin to be shared. So there's plenty of grave, yeah? So many grave. And after the war, this grave was taken away to Labuan. Labuan, you can see here. This is the Labuan. Oh, this is what they call Labuan. But this one you can see in St. Thomas, engraved by the nun. And you can see that in the St. Thomas cemetery down in Kuching. Yeah. Right. Throughout government, by the way, in those days, the prisoners of war, they worked in airfield. Our airport. Every day they have to go there. From here, they use this, they have to walk to Green Road. It's the shortest railway in the world. From rooftop here, it goes straight to the airport. So they have to walk there. And this prisoner of war, they have to sit in the open carriage. So this locomotive, they use wood or charcoal or coal, and the spark came out. This and they have to come back 5 o'clock. The whole day, not much food, little food, but no water. No water. So plenty of water, but little food, so they become very keen. And they have to work there, they suffer a lot. If they get sick, have no medicine, they die. Simple as that. Now, heard of this one? This is very, very interesting story. It made into a movie in the 1950s, and it has a book called Three Cat Book. Now, first, this couple, Agnes Kick. You go to Sandakan, up behind the field, behind the bazaar, there's field, and you see this Agnes Kick in the house. Now, what is the story? So this Agnes, her name was Agnes Newton. She was an American, tall like my size. So she met her husband, Harry Kidd, Englishman. They study in the University of California. They got to know each other, and they get married, and they went to Sandakan because the husband worked in Sandakan. Harry Kidd worked in Sandakan, and he was the curator of forests as well as the director of agriculture. Small place in those days. So the wife is a journalist, writer. So she wrote many books. One of the books is this one, and another one is Land Below the Wing. So Ceramah now use the tagline, Ceramah, Land Below the Wing. Is after her. See? Now she was interned in Batu Lintang, and when she was in Batu Lintang, She wrote the story of three careful. Sarawak make her famous, Sabah get the name. Think of it. See? Now, what happened here? One of these internists from Sabah, he has got some 2,000 of books collection to trade. So Colonel Sugar, or the allowed them to have the books. So this group of people, they study at night. And most of these people, they're highly educated already. Ada degree, ada highly educated. So night time they study. So this one become the first underground university in the whole of Malaysia. So how proud are you? University of Malaya after the war, 1947 or 48. This one during the Japanese time. And you can see in that museum, ada certificate, degree certificate, issued by the prisoner of war among themselves. See, there are people who study in the first university of Malaysia, after the cut, not University of Malaya, right? Be proud. Now, then the Australian came, the war is, Japan lose the war, and we were under the Australian military administration, and the Australian was here, and after the war, the smoking up operation, Australian military administration took over, and for 7 months, mopping up operation, and they get hold of the Japanese. You can see the Japanese here together with the Australian. They collect all the guns and send them back to Japan. You see, huh? Now, Australian military administration only lasted for 7 months, and this is the Brigadier Thomas Astor. He was the Australian military governor of Sarawak. He was in charge of the Australian military administration. Actually, it's the British military administration, but they allowed the Australian to run the show. So, he was the governor, and this is his son, Bruce Astic, Dr. Bruce Astic. This is grandson, Michael Astic. This is me, this is Dr. Lin. They were to visit the Astana because he stayed in the Astana, so the son and the grandfather wanted to see where the grandfather stayed. So, come September 11 this year, we're going to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Ceramah and Batu from the Japanese. So, you will be invited. There will be a ceremony. Remember that. All of you are invited to see the ceremony. So, Bruce is bringing a lot of many Australian, also British coming. British from England, they're coming here. We bring them to have a ceremony in that Memorial Square. Right? Now, this one, actually during the war, these people, there's no radio communication, not allowed. So, what did they do? You cannot tune to the BBC, no radio allowed, once we catch by the Japanese. So during the camp, this man in the camp, prisoner of war, when they go out to do their chores, they steal something, bicycle, gearbox, and also they make their own radio set. And they kept it under their kitchen fireplace. If they are found out by the Japanese, they will die. Kena gantung. So the kitchen, and people were very hungry. They had to plant their own vegetable, nothing to eat. So sometimes they trade their wedding ring, and the Japanese guy is the man who go in between, black market selling. And a lot of these Chinese who were living across the perimeter, sometimes they make release pig for them to kill at night time. So the cook was very efficient. Anything that they to go near the kitchen, rat, snake, what do you call it? Frogs, anything at all, disappeared within minutes. They're so efficient, hungry, nothing to eat. They eat almost everything. So during the Japanese time, you know the snail, the koyang Jepun. People eat that. Today is a delicacy You go to Pontianak, the Koyang Depot, the snail, garden snail, they put lime there and they sell it in tin in Germany. Cost a lot of money. They're rare, this one. So today is delicacy. But today we don't care so much of it. So during the Japanese time, nobody want to plant rice because the Japanese want to take the rice. So that's why they depend on tapioca, stick to tapioca and sweet potatoes and so on. That is why when you go to that place, memorial, you see that tapioca. Tapioca has got a high place of honor because it was a survival crop. Without the tapioca, many people will die during the Japanese time. Today you want to eat tapioca, what is that? Be careful, You remember, if time is hard, then you realize how lucky you are to eat this tapioca. So don't look down on tapioca. That's why you place of honor. Now, this is Colonel Suga. This is Brigadier Astig, and Batu Lintang Second Commandant Colonel Suga. And what happened to him after the war? And he was captured, and he was allowed to run the camp for a month before the Australian landed. The Japanese then surrendered 15th of August, here 1 month later. But in the interim period, the Japanese already surrendered in Japan, so the guard have to continue because there was no Australian army. So Colonel Suga was asked to continue to run the camp, but without the guard, while waiting for the Australian to liberate. So what happened to him? He was brought to Labuan, and because he was in charge of Batu Lintang and the atrocities in Sandakan, many people died, he has got to be held responsible. So 3 days before he was put on trial in Labuan, he cut his throat with a kitchen knife. So that's the end of him, Colonel Suga. Right? Now, so Colonel Suga was responsible for all prisoner of war camp in South and North Borneo and has to take responsibility for war crime committed by the Japanese troops, and he died. Colonel Suga committed suicide before his trial in Labuan by slitting his own throat with a kitchen knife. You dare to ask to cut your throat with a kitchen knife? This is very interesting. This flag is behind Colonel Suga in office, and this flag was given by his relative, the Japanese character, to say good luck to him. Right? Now this original place is in the Sarawak Cultures Museum. The one that you see in this museum is a replica. The real one is there. So then what happened? 2 important papers containing death march were also found in Colonel Suga office. So we nearly have a death march, but orders were given by the Japanese in Tokyo to ask him to kill all the prisoners of war. So here you have this first order describe the proposed method of execution. Every prisoner of war and internees to the camp scheduled on 8 August 1945, not carried out. The Japanese not yet surrender. The Japanese surrendered 15th of August. This one before. But Colonel Suga did not carry this out. Otherwise, we don't have any more prisoners of war. And the second order, scheduled to take place 15 September 1945, did not happen. Camp was liberated 4 days earlier on this 11th. So, it did not happen. So Colonel Suga, in a way, was meant to save a lot of his prisoners. He was, in a way, kind man. In a way, yeah, right? Now, that places now. So when the Australian came here, they liberated his camp and they found the flag in Colonel Suga office. So this man, William Fox, he was a soldier, was in the Australian Army, and he took the flag and brought it back to Mansel, put it in the workshop for half a century, 50 years or so. And then somebody found out, and then Datuk Lim, he was at a point of time Assistant State Secretary, So he came to know of it, and this William Falk wanted to sell the flag to Sarawak at a high price. So Dato' said, no, you and your wife come to Sarawak, you spend two weeks holiday, everything paid for by the Sarawak government. So they handed the flag to the director of museum, Haji Sanib, his acronym, and the flag was in the Sarawak Arches. That's the story, right? Now, right. How is this done about after the war? What happens after the war in Batu Lintang? Now, the institution was established in 1940 as a school by Sarawak Malay Training College located in Madrasah Melayu building Jalan Jawa. This is near the Sarawak Arches Museum. You know Hopo? Shopping center? Opposite. You see this building. We started there, right? And this was after the end of the war. The college was reopened in 1947 with total 19 students transferred from here to this place. And they're still using the prisoner of war punya barrack, modified edition. And July 1948, the student was transferred from Jalan Jawa to Batu Lintang, executed to became renamed Batu Lintang Teachers Training Center and School. And many of our ministers was educated here. One of them was Dato' Bongi. He studied here, Daniel Tajem and so on. Many of them were educated at school. Belum jadi teacher school. In those days, if you pass Form 2, you can be a headmaster already. In those days, so this is what the dormitory looked like. Very simple, not icon like what you have today. These are the students in those days. And this is the 1997, following the formation of Malaysia, the name of the institution was changed to Maktab Perguruan Batu Lintang. So in those days only 2 years, 2 years training. After that, you can become teacher already. 2 years. Now you have 5 years. Now, in 2009, the name MPL was changed again to Institute Pendidikan Kampus Batu Lintang, or Kuching Institute of Teachers Education Batu Lintang campus. So this is the change again. So now this has been upgraded to have all teachers master degree. Dulu mana ada degree? Primary, if you have Form 3, you become a primary school teacher. Kalau you become Form 5, you become a secondary school teacher. Not many people have got a degree because it's very easy life. Everybody wants to be a teacher because 3 holiday dalam tahun. Everybody wants to be a teacher. Now, the institution started issue bachelor degree for the teaching profession. Now when you come out, bachelor degree and diploma of education. That's good. That's going to the university. Now, the importance of institute. How important is this place? You can see here in the 1950s. You see the vegetable garden? The students here were taught to plant vegetable because they are going to serve in the very ulu. There's nothing. So they have to teach them how to plant vegetable in order to survive in the ulu. So it's very different training than what we do today. So this is what it looks like. And also, now largest prisoner of war camp in British Border. This is what it is today. And we have first underground university in Malaysia. This reflects the historic moment started by a few prisoner of war nighttime studies ending with the awarding of degrees to the participants. So it is one of the earliest teachers training college. The first one is Apai, Sultan Idris in West Malaysia. The first one in the whole of Malaysia, but this one is one of the earliest. Now, a famous World War book, Pre-Camp Home, was written about the life of Batu Lintang camp by one of the internees, actors, Newton Kidd, later met in the movie. You can see from your laptop, you can type this one, you can see the picture coming up, black and white. Now, first teacher training institute in Sarawak and one of the earliest in Malaysia, and promote heritage tourism and Sarawak to the outside world. So many people come here today when they go to Sandakan, they also want to come to Sarawak to see. They read a lot about this Second World War, what happened in Sarawak, and many of them want to come here. The descendant of these people. That's why we have the barrio airdrop and so on. That's the story. Ini panjang ni story ni. So we are about nearly 3 hours. But it's a little bit. Now, one trail in Batu National Park, created by the former Batu Lintang student, teaches 1957, named the Lintang Trail. So if you go to Batu National Park, there are many trails, jungle trail. One of them was the Lintang Trail, and that Lintang Trail was made by the student of this house. See, so many things that happened here. Are you not proud of being a student in Batu Lintang? Semua aslinya, betul tak? You should be proud. I'm very proud because this is my place. So this will be the now. Talking about this one, I would not because Datuk Lim is writing about this one and victim of Ceramah, and the explanation here is given by Datuk Lim. So I'm giving you all this so you can read it for yourselves. Semua ada Batu Lintang, semua staff di sana. Alright, so this is the end of my talk. Any questions? Any questions? Don't be shy to ask, because I myself is a tourist guide. After I retired from the Department of Agriculture, I became a tourist guide. And when I bring people to the national park, I'm a nature guide as well. I'm not afraid of professors. I'm not afraid of professors. Because when you want to learn, you must be humble. And it happened one day, I was bringing a European man to Gading National Park. I was talking about the geology. So he understood what I was talking about. So I was wondering, are you a geologist? Then, instead of me become the guide, he become my guide. See, you turn around and you lower yourself, you learn more. Even if you know, you ask him. But I'm afraid of these little boys, little girls. I'm very scared because they ask very simple questions. And this simple question frightened me a lot. Why the sky is blue? Why crab moves sideways? Why the leaf is red in color? Why the sea is green in color? You know what answer? Be careful. These young children, they will ask you the question. Right? This is us. We learn from each other. Alright? Okay? I'm learning from you as well. Hopefully that when you were posted to the outstation later on, then you can write a book. Now it's very easy. You can use PowerPoint like this. Because you cannot come out because there's public holiday. Impossible for you to come back to Kuching. You have to stay there. So what do? Talk to the local people, learn about them, how to cook in the bamboo, how to walk in the jungle. Because I learned a lot is from the Iban people with the tattoo. When I was young man walking in the jungle, I spent a lot of time. So we have a lot of Iban with the tattoo everywhere. These are the professors in the Red Forest. Listen to people. Listen, go to the Malay village, listen to the custom, how they live, what do they believe, and so on. Very interesting. You can write a book. So don't be discouraged. So you have a lot to do. So that will be all from me.
Terima kasih diucapkan kepada Sir Edward Mansel atas perkongsian yang sangat informatif dan penuh dengan nilai sejarah. Sesungguhnya kita telah mendapat gambaran yang lebih jelas tentang bagaimana kampus ini bermula dan berkembang hingga ke hari ini. Untuk melengkapkan sesi kita, majlis ini membuka ruang kepada para hadirin yang ingin mengemukakan sebarang soalan. Jika adanya ingin bertanya, sila angkat tangan dan nyatakan nama anda sebelum mengemukakan soalan. Sebelum itu, kita akan memberi sedikit masa kepada AJK untuk menyediakan mikrofon untuk sesi soal jawab. Mohon semua bersabar.
One more thing, I don't know why people call me sir. Sir in English is people ada the honorable thing like this, So don't call me sir.
You sir,
Cikgu. Because I'm teaching in Ceramah. So also there's a student from this side. Yeah. Yes. All right. So, right. Now, why we have different visitors here? First of all, this is Dr. John Chiu. Medical doctor, he's an anesthetist, you know. If you go to operations, then you go to, you put something on the to make you sleep. Dr. John Chiu, he retired, and he's working very closely with me about the Second World War. Because he became doctor as well, so he's very active, and now he's retired. And he's also the commissioner of Sukaka. The former official. Human rights. Thank you.
In 1963, remember what happened in 1963? You don't know. Malaysia was formed by a union of Malaya, Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak. I was a 10-year-old boy. I was in primary 5 in school. My teacher, headmaster, finished only primary 6. The headmaster at that time, 1963, was the headmaster of my primary school. All my teacher there never finished primary 4. These are during the British colonial time. So you people are very privileged because we have advanced so far. Why are we now so far ahead? Because of people in 1945 who fought for our liberty against tyranny, against cruelty, right? So we must remember that. Australia come here every year, right? During what they call the Anzac Day. During Anzac Day, Australia and New Zealand suffered tremendous loss in military. Right? They fought under the British, and they listened to the general from Britain, England, and a lot of them were slaughtered. Maybe because I introduced Judy Pearson, right? Her father was a prisoner of war here. So the story that Edward came to is alive, right? Bernard, he was the headmaster retired. I'm not retired yet, but he is retired. But they want to record all this history from Edward as a living treasure because he knows so much. I'm only a student, so I come and enjoy Dr. Lintang. And now I'm his messenger running here and there. Right? He was the one who found Delhi, right? And because he was the secretary or the chief clerk of Tawang Undangan Negeri. He was the secretary there, so he has a lot of contact with parliamentarians from all countries, and they all want to come back because they were prisoner of war here, or they were among the Liberation Army. Right? So every year during Anzac Day, this point will be read, right, to honor the people who have died for us. We are not here today because of that. So the point read like this: they shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years of them. At the going down of the sun in the morning, we will remember them. So I added a header to this poetry because poetry tells a lot of things which words cannot convey, but it's not feeling, right? Noblest and highest recognition of the sacrifices, of the bravery, and that brought about our liberation. Let's forget. Men fought in the jungle, oceans away from their homes, jungles that were dark, gloomy, and hostile. How many of you go to the jungle? These people live in the jungle. Trees, vines, and dense undergrowth make walking difficult. Insects and leeches are plenty. Strange sounds are plenty. Underfoot, twisty and uncertain. Hills to climb, valleys and rivers to cross. Sweat, heat and dirt, lest we forget. This is a period of time when survival was foremost in every mind, not of races, not of religion, and of nationality. It's time to remember when families, communities, and nations came together to get rid of this tyranny. Do you remember the human cost of war? Lives disrupted, suffering, misery, and torture, cruelty at the worst. Atrocity, people die from friendly fire, mistaken identity. We heard about the killing fields. But they endure, and now in 2025, we have progress, harmony, and peace. Peace and prosperity, safe and secure homes. Let's be forget. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, one more thing. Now, all these are recorded and put into the YouTube. The whole world will be looking at you. Okay. So we have here my friend, Mr. Bernard Wong. Actually, he was from Penang, and after he graduated, that time we are under federal, so he was sent here to be a lecturer in Batu Lintang. He was a lecturer here, and also a lecturer in Miri, Teachers Training College, and he became principal of St. Luke's School, Semangang, and lastly, he was the principal of St. Thomas's School, secondary school, my old school. So now he has retired, so he spends most of the time at Gambang. You can see Borneo and Sarawak Adventure. You type Sarawak Adventure, you see all the 120 or 30 episodes. Very educational. You must look at it as teachers. Sarawak Adventure. Episode 73, you can episode 73 or 100, the whole thing will come out. Alright? And the next one is this lady here. She is very important because she is supposed to write in the sentence. This one will come out in the sentence. Teacher writing. And I knew her when she was a little girl. Long time. She was my wife's student. Long time. Now, she wrote a book, Memos of this written by her. She did a lot of research. So today she's going to write the papers. When it's coming up? Tomorrow, yeah? Not sure. Border Post. Yeah. When you get a copy, you can take it. So they can not all of you read papers. Right? Okay? Maybe you want to introduce somebody? And then introduce this kid.
Maybe I can tell you the story of the sugar. Right? The word talk about him cutting it. Throat. In his final speech, right? He said that Colonel, in his final speech to the he said that you are all going home, but I don't know home to go to now. Edward mentioned about that you got 6 children, and they were all in Hiroshima. You know what happened in Hiroshima? They all died. So he died, he don't know no family to go back to, that's the whole time. And he, because of him, 1,000 prisoner of war here survived. Because Japan, the imperial government, set up orders to have a death march.
you have a deadline in Satakan. Over 2,000 people died. 6 escaped, survived. Died. When they came here, they were all in very, very bad shape. 1,000 prisoner of war soldiers. Jelly parents were very, very sick. Imagine mother, Professor, your Jelly's mother name. Mary. Mary, you know what is Mary? Vitamin D deficiency. She got heart failure. Because I think she gets voice. And she went back to Australia. They came from Launceston in Tasmania. Went back there and recuperate. And the father used the Lauren Busher, yeah. He was a broken man after suffering from war. But he came back slowly to work as a precaution officer in the Navy. Came back. And Delhi came back, eventually trained as a technician in Syria, in the shell. Never stayed back. The other brother joined the British Army. Went over to England, married, and he passed away. So there is a lot of story. Jenny has written a book about SIMO. Have you heard about SIMO operation here? Operator? I'm not going to tell you, go and buy the book. These are the people who jumped the parachute into Barrio and fight all the way. I think everyone has got a story there. Thank you.
Baik, sekiranya sudah bersedia, siapa yang ingin memulakan soalan pertama, diingatkan sekali lagi, jika ada yang ingin bertanya, sila angkat tangan dan nyatakan nama anda sebelum mengemukakan soalan. Dipersilakan.
Hello. I wish a good afternoon to everyone here. I have a question. And the question is, what is the qualification for students back in the 1940s needs to have to enter or get promoted into Institut Pendidikan Guru Kampus Batu Lintang?
As far as I know, that in those days, primary 6 pun ada juga. Because the lack of teacher. After the war, during the war, nobody goes to school. When I went to school in 1950, I was a young boy, and I have a 19-year-old boy sitting next to me. Primary 1, 19-year-old. So in those days, pre-war time is different. If you have the highest, I think, school year, very towards the end of the Rajah's rule, baru ada senior Cambridge. So mostly people leave school at Form 1, Form 2 because the parents were very poor and they had to come all the way, to go to school. There's not many schools. Even in the 1960s, before 1960s, only 2 schools, St. Thomas and Joseph. Belum ada secondary school, belum ada. Very few. Only after 1960, then you have Dragon School, a lot of this elementary school. And of course, the people from Yulu, they're poor, they cannot send the children, only some can send the children. But school in Yulu only teach up to primary 5, primary 6. So they were the ones recruited to become teachers and teach them. Tolok lah. But after that, then the 1960s, then after Cambridge school certificate, then they upgrade a little bit until today. So that answer your question, sampai tadi. Right. Okay, right. So my wife did not pass the Form 3, jadi headmistress. You see, thing like this. But today cannot be because everybody is well versed. The young people like you are very good in computer. All right. Any more questions? No. You can from there.
So, afternoon. My name is Benjamin. And I got a question. Okay, before the construction of this campus, right, the Batu Lintang area was used as prisoner of war, internees of land.
Yeah.
So could you share what the area was used for before it became a internees camp?
About small area, 30 acres or so, and then Japanese took over and expanded to 50 acres total. 50 acres. And within the 50 acres, there are compound. Women, children, Australian, British, they're not allowed to stick to each other, all fence up within the 50 acres big area. 9 compounds each fence up. Right? Right? Is there a question? Siapa lagi?
From then until now, what changes have happened to this campus in terms of building, atmospheres, and many methods? From then until now, what has happened to this campus in terms of building, atmospheres, or many methods?
Or learning methods, huh? If you ask me about what they've done here, I don't know because I'm not the teacher here. Maybe our side can sound a bit better. What did they learn last time? The learning method. He's the most qualified person to answer.
Cuba
Saya pernah menjadi pencara di Maktab Perguruan Batu Lintang selama lebih kurang 8 tahun. Sebelum itu 4,5 tahun di MIRI, Maktab Perguruan Sarawak. So if you talk about learning methods and all that, I think the approaches keep on improving. Ya. Zaman saya, masa saya jadi mahasiswa di universiti, KBSR, KBSM baru diperkenalkan. Right? So from that it progress on. You'll be talking about teacher-centered learning, student-centered learning, ya, dan macam-macam punya metodologi lah. Right? So during my time, a lot the emphasis was given to student-centered approach. So saya pernah mengajar pedagogi, ya, dan psikologi pendidikan, falsafah pendidikan, malah counseling, bimbingan dan counseling semua ada. So we can't really say how was it and all that. It is forever progressing. Right? I don't know. Saya sejak tahun 2001 tak ada di Maktab Perguruan lagi. Ya, telah menjadi pengetua di sekolah menengah. So I won't know from there what happens, what is the latest now. Right? But I would think that more and more emphasis is focused on the students, how students learn. Yeah. So if you talk about pedagogy dan sebagainya, a lot lah. Saya rasa you all still talk about Piaget, you still talk about Brunner, you still talk about all those tokoh-tokoh pendidikan, ya. Dan dari zaman from the Skinner, mula dari Skinner, the conditioning and all that all, sampai ke information processing strategies and all that. So, yalah, banyak yang kena kita faham. Dan saya perhatikan di sini ramai yang masih, saya fahamlah zaman saya di sini memang pelatih banyak assignment tak habis-habis, ya. Sekarang di sini juga masih ada ramai yang di sini sedang tengok laptop, ya, dapat kerjaan khusus dan sebagainya. Itulah hidup seorang pelatih, ya. Banyak tugas saja. But anyway, all these things are forever progressive, moving forward. Dan Maktab Perguruan Batu Lintang dari sebuah maktab sekarang sudah menjadi universiti. Zaman saya, kami cuma melatih pelatih untuk diploma. Mula-mula sijil perguruan, lepas tu ke diploma, dan sambil diploma ada sekumpulan yang
degree, masih diploma pendidikan, but sort of postgraduate KPLI, ya, yang lepasan ijazah. Dan sejak itu, sekarang you are a full-fledged university producing graduates dalam pendidikan. So syabaslah. So as I say, it is forever progressing forward. Tapi saya rasa pencara-pencara di belakang sana very up to date on all this progress. Ya. Itu saja. Terima kasih.
I would like to add something because between Edward, myself, and Bernard here, there are 10 years difference between us. 10 years. Right? I went to school in 1959, and the highest level before my time was about Form 3. There were very limited number of places in school.
We all have 6 years of primary primary school, and 30% at the end of the primary school, we have the common entrance exam, and only 30% of them will continue to secondary school. The rest go to private school or left the school system. Then after from primary 3, we go have 3 years of junior secondary school, whereby we take the Sarawak Junior Certificate. And after that, again, only one class left to go to Form 5, Form 4, Form 5, 2 years. And at the end, only 28 of us continue on to Form 6. So it's very, very limited during my time. I left school in 1969-70 as a Form 6, lower 6 in 1970. And there were no university here in Sarawak. And those people who went to KL are mainly in
University of Malaya, and I think about 20-30 of them going to the university. I have to go to overseas. Right? So a lot of us that time stopped schooling after Form 5. Even Form 6, Tanjung Lobang college was just starting to take in more Form 6. So now you have progressed so much now, even with
how many universities in Sarawak now? At least 5 or 6 universities in Sarawak. So that is the difference between Edward time, my time, and Bernard time.
Ada question lagi? Of interest?
Was there a close relationship between the campus and the outside community in the early days?
Between
the campus and the outside
not campus prisoners.
No, the campus.
The campus, the people here, and
outside community.
Outside community. How do I answer the question? Because I don't belong here. You're asking the question, how do these people, you people, have relationship between the outside people? I'm not from here. You can answer the question? Maybe Dr. Abid, bagaimana?
I is also out because I'm out of since 2000 saya dah tak ada di maktab. Tapi zaman saya di maktab selalunya dikatakan maktab itu macam pulau terpencil, terpisah daripada masyarakat. Yang ada di maktab cuma teori. Tapi sampai ke sekolah di masyarakat lain. So selalunya ada perubahan beginilah ya. Jadi saya rasa pada masa itu adalah ya kami yang di maktab berusaha untuk mengadakan hubungan dengan komuniti ya melalui projek-projek anak angkat lah, gotong royong lah dan sebagainya, dan juga melalui praktikum ya pergi ke sekolah dan sebagainya. So anyway, I think that there should be closer relationship between the college campus and the community. Selalunya orang akan tuduh ini semua ya bicara semua teori saja sampai ke sekolah lain. But to me, we take the middle path. Mesti ada teori, from the theory Ya, asas teori digunakan untuk mengamalkan cara kita belajar dan sebagainya. So kalau dikatakan apa hubungan dan sebagainya, I don't know about the latest cara ya, kamu yang akan tahu. Tapi zaman saya memang ada usaha untuk merapatkan.
I can add on that. A very, very important question about young students involving the community. Today, is your engagement with the community? We have got a living treasure here. We've got a lot of history, which we try to impart to you to learn about the history of this place. Without knowing the history, you do not appreciate what we have got now. So this is part of the engagement with the community. We have got so much knowledge in this man here, so make full use of it.
So kalau tengok barisan orang lama di sini, bukan calang-calang orangnya, semuanya berpengalaman. And like they say, living history. So sebelum living history ini disappear, we need to find out from them. That's why for me, my mission is to document this thing. Not to promote my channel or what. Banyak yang berasaskan sejarah tempatan. Sejarah tempatan yang mungkin tak dijumpai dalam buku. Kami from oral history, ya, interview dan sebagainya. Dan orang ini memang sangat-sangat berpengetahuan dalam sejarah tempatan. And all these people have direct experience. Right? The only living survivor from the prisoner of war, ya, ini Lintang. Yang ini saya pernah tanya dia, how do you reconcile yourself having Japanese blood and British blood? British dengan Jepun lawan, dia dalam diri dia ada kedua-duanya. How do you reconcile? But Jepun yang membunuh bapak dia, tapi mak dia ada darah Jepun, ya, datuk dia Jepun penuh, Jepun jati. So now here you are, ada British, ada Jepun, macam mana? Dia ada menerbitkan sebuah buku tentang hidup dia sendiri. Ya, The Son of Sarawak. Tak ada orang lain berani bagi tajuk macam The Son of Sarawak. Siapa berani mengaku diri? Ya, anak kasih Sarawak terbanyak. Memang macam orang kuliah. Ya, hati Sarawak jati. So, if you have a chance, buy the book from him. Kalau masih ada stok kan masih ada stok. Dan kalau loket tak mau beli tak apa, tengok free ada dalam video saya.
Ada library. My book is in the library. Ada dua book ada kat library. Son of Sarawak.
So yang saya nampak lah, ya, generasi muda macam ni mungkin belum pentingkan sejarah lagi. But after you reach a certain age macam saya, we begin to realize history is important. Ya, we need to know more about that. Masa itulah kita akan melibatkan diri dengan lebih baik.
This is not anything, he is my personal friend, has always been my personal friend. Thank you, and I'm glad to see you again.
Okay, soalan how to enhance kesedaran lah maksudnya kan. Kesedaran itu saya to me actually the first thing is how we teach sejarah in the school. Sebab di Malaysia ni satu, ya, bagi saya lah satu kesilapan besar lah, ya, sekarang saya pension dah boleh cakap lah. Satu kesilapan besar dari pendekatan pengajaran, bukan sejarah saja, malah semua mata pelajaran dia tu exam oriented. Di sekolah kita cuma ajar pelajar-pelajar bagaimana nak menjawab soalan peperiksaan, past question sama dia. Itu sebenarnya membunuh semangat awal. Ya. Like history, people always say, ya, membosankan, very dry subject dan sebagainya. Kenapa? Sebab semuanya untuk mengingat, menghafaz tarikh-tarikh saja. That kills the interest. But like living history, kita bawa mereka untuk melihat perkara yang sebenarnya. Kita, ya, mendalami dan merasai suasana masa itu. That's why talking to the people who are involved, right? Dan cerita-cerita yang menarik, lawatan ke tempat-tempat yang bersejarah. All this, I hope, can inculcate. Alangkah bestnya kalau kita dapat bawa pelajar kita nak tengok piramid di Mesir, pergi tengok Angkor Wat di Cambodia. Dan that will enhance, that will timbulkan kesedarannya. Ya. When I was in St. Thomas sebagai pengetua, every year pelajar dari Singapura akan datang ke Kuching untuk melawat. Berapa buah sekolah di Malaysia mampu buat? So they will come and they will ask permission to visit my school. Yeah? So kalau ikut peraturan, I have to ask permission dari menteri dan sebagainya sebelum membenarkan mereka masuk. Tapi kalau nak tunggu, ya, he will never come. So my advantage is di sekolah saya, sekolah Mubalik, ada that is what we call a board of governors. Mereka pun boleh membuat keputusan. So I contact direct saya punya chairman, boleh ya? Okay. So admit them, come in. Dan di sana pelajar mereka, pelajar kita dapat berinteraksi. And that's where, yeah, it brings about the awareness. So how to increase the awareness? I think real history, bukannya to pass exam, tetapi untuk menimbulkan kesedaran.
I add a bit. When you learn, you can hear lecture from him, right? You learn, you disappear. Tomorrow you forget. But if you go and do something, a project about it, write about yourself, you will remember. That's why we have Jenny here to write it down. Right? There are many books outside. You can research. As a tertiary university student, the training is no longer spoon feeding. You have to go and do the research yourself, write articles and books about it, and then you will learn, and then it becomes part of you. Right? You know, you are teachers, you know, you learning by doing better than, and teaching again, teach again, you will learn much more faster.
I'm Gilly. It has made me very happy to see Edward again. I'm Gilly, and it has made me very happy to meet Edward again. Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Judy said, are there any questions?
Are there any questions?
Please stay here.
Me being here, and of course you know who Edward is.
From his point, from Jerry point of view, other questions? How he stay here? How long he stay here? What was his experience? Bagus ke tidak kah? What did he eat? How he sleep the night? Ada blanket ke tidak?
My question is, what is the main language they use, like how they communicate before and after the establishment of Union?
When was it? What period?
The main language they used to communicate.
What period is that you're talking about? 1960?
Before, yes.
Yeah. The school was taught in English. English is the main language. Bahasa belum ada. You go to Chinese school, you learn Chinese. But you go to mission school, you go to grammar school, the instruction was in English. Semua dalam English. Full. No bahasa. Belum ada bahasa. Until very, I don't know what, 1980 or something. 70? 72. Yeah. Then they've introduced bahasa. Bahasa medium of instruction. Before that, all English. Are there questions related to our friend today? How he suffered during the war?
I suppose you really don't know who I am. So if you do, maybe you'll have questions. Anyway, it is quite alright, I don't mind. Maybe you will learn a little bit more. Of course you know who Facebook is. So, thank you.
We are friends for since 1950 something.
Yes. Yeah,
Thank you very much. Now, any questions?
Hi and very good evening. So what I would like to ask is, who are the important figures behind this creation of IPGM Batu Lintang today?
Who are the important figures?
Yeah.
Well, can I answer the question? I'm not from Batu Lintang. Bagaimana? Who were the figures?
Yeah, the important figures behind this creation of IPGM Batu Lintang.
Oh, you're talking all this, huh? The British Colombo plan.
Yes.
These are the people who are starting this. I think it's under Colombo plan. So Colombo plan, the donors were nobody goes to American University. Australia, Great Britain, New Zealand, nobody goes. The British government don't send people to American University unless you are private student. They send you to Commonwealth country. So these Commonwealth countries were the donors. They are unbig students, they are ajar. In New Zealand, they pay for everybody. If you're good in your result. Right. So that answer your question? Any more?
Saya ada soalan nak bertanya. Pada pendapat Encik Edward, apakah cabaran dalam usaha menjadikan IPG KBL ini sebagai satu destinasi pelancongan, dan apakah usaha kerajaan dalam membantu bantu merealisasikan impian tersebut?
Okay, the question is how important is this place for pelancongan? So this is a very, very important place. The history, everything must happen here. So we have to bring people here. We cannot bring the museum and put it somewhere else because that's not right. Because everything happened in this particular place, it has to be here. But this place belongs to the government institution. People cannot come in and out. Otherwise they go and steal your thing. Bagaimana? No. So the procedure is for these people to write to the director. Normally is already given, permission given, but usually not during weekend. So they have to give 2 or 3 days notice. For the people here, they're most welcoming. They like to welcome visitors. So this can be the place to bring the tourists, and the tourists will love this place because you have the atmosphere. It happened here, not somewhere there. See? So that makes a difference. So we can tell that this is the place where Kurosuga was his office, and then this black hole, and then what happened here, what happened there. So people, they will become very interested in this way of promoting tourism. Because now, in other countries, they're looking back, like many people go to Sandakan for the Second World War, there's much. And now the confrontation also coming up. People who served in the confrontation, the children, they're still alive now, they want to come back. And last week we have this man coming back from England. He was the Royal Air Force mechanic. He came about 8 years old. He came back here, and he said, "Oh, this my camp is here. My camp is here." You know. So this, and then he will bring his family, talk to his grandchildren, the children came here. So this is a very great potential for tourism. Any of you want to become tourist guide? Belum lah, because you're so busy. Wait until you become teachers. In my class, I'm teaching tourism, certain subject. In my class, they are pilots. They are people from the ministry, not young. I think my age, 60 years old pun ada juga. One of them was education officer. They want to become tourist guide. So it's good. A lot of things we learn about tourist guide, right? So maybe you think of that when you graduate. But that doesn't make sense. Any more questions?
Saya Anissa. Saya nak tanya dua soalan. Adakah pelatih guru ketika itu berasal daripada pelbagai daerah? Satu lagi soalan, apakah cabaran dalam mengadaptasi sistem pendidikan guru?
Satu je.
Were the graduate teachers at that time from various regions? Second question, what were the challenge in adapting to the teacher education system?
Those days, where the teachers came from, in those days, there was no school in Julu, so the focus is on to teach the young people in Julu, mostly primary school teachers. Primary school, they spend 2 years here, and then sometimes if they have already been teachers, belum ada training, they come back here for 6 months for refresher course. Dia ajar dekat Ulu sana. Not many people want to go to Ulu, only Ulu people want to teach in Ulu at that point of time. So the focus is in Ulu. That is why just now I show you how they plant the vegetable and everything to prepare them for their life in Ulu. Mana ada supermarket, cultivate very different. Mostly they come from Ulu. They train the teachers, primary school teachers, focus on primary school everywhere. Secondary school belum banyak lagi. Primary school. And what are the challenges? Because of their very low education, so the syllabus is according to the low education. There are two sets. Those kalau ada Form 3 or Form 2, they go to teach in primary school. Ada syllabus. Those Form 5, ada syllabus for the secondary school. Degree belum banyak. See, so that was the challenge. Right? Answer your question? Right? Siapa lagi? Wah, banyak juga. Alright, come.
My very first question is, what does Batu Lintang mean to you personally? And the second question is, were there any advantages offered that help attract individuals to join the teacher education instituted at IPGM and the class?
First question is, what is Batu Lintang? How we get the name? How we get the name Batu Lintang? Is that the question? Betul ke?
What does Batu Lintang mean?
What Batu Lintang means to me, I was never a teacher. I work in the agriculture research. I was very shy and I never been giving a talk like meeting a lot of people in front of me. So until I became a tourist guide. So that's why I'm now quite open. Before that I was very shy. Satu orang takut saja, scared of it. And what does it mean to me? I think we should produce our own local teacher with our own syllabus, our syllabus. Because why? I tell you, one day this Australian came, Anzac people, and then this history student from here to there, with the coat, with the tie, everything, looks very smart. And after the ceremony, I asked them, you know what's happening? You know. What do you learn in school? 90% history on the other side. 5% Sarawak, 5% Sabah. So now, I think we want to take over education. People, teachers in Sarawak must know about the history of Sarawak. Full history. Because until today, I've heard senior government officer, Sarawak and Sabah joined Malaysia. What do you think of that? It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Sabah and Sarawak join Malaya to form Malaysia, not join Malaysia. You see, because they are ignorant. I cannot blame them because of the education system. Alright? That answer your question? Betul? Siapa lagi? Yang baik.
Last question. Last.
Oh yeah.
The question is what kind of people were put in the Batu Lintang camp and where were they freed?
You mean the Second World War?
Yes.
What kind of people were put in this camp?
Yes.
British, Australian, Indonesian, this Punjab, the Indian, the Punjab, and then that is the national one, but also they have the wife, the children, the nuns, Catholic nuns, local, tak ada local lah, mostly British, Australian, Dutch, Indian, that second challenge just now, they put here, and also I think one or two New Zealanders. Yeah, these are the camp, right? So these are the people in the camp, but mostly Australian and British and Indian. Dutch korang, New Zealander korang, Indian, korang. Now, who else?
Nampaknya semua telah mendapatkan pencerahan yang jelas daripada sesi tadi, atau mungkin sudah menyerap maklumat yang sangat menarik itu. Sebagai penutup, sekali lagi majlis merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada Sir Edward Mansel atas kesediaan berkongsi ilmu dan pengalaman bersama kita hari ini. Diharapkan perkongsian ini dapat menambah pengetahuan serta menanam rasa bangga terhadap IPGM Kampus Batu Lintang sebagai sebuah institusi pendidikan yang bersejarah dan berwibawa. Terima kasih juga kepada semua hadirin atas komitmen dan perhatian yang diberikan sepanjang majlis ini berlangsung. Sebagai tanda penghargaan, majlis dengan sukacitanya menjemput wakil daripada Jabatan Sains Sosial IPG Batu Lintang, Dr. Habib Bergibar dan Encik Mahfud untuk menyampaikan cenderahati kepada Sir Edward Mansel. Persilakan.
Thank you very much.
Baik.
Thank you very much. I join you.
Dengan itu, berakhirlah sudah program kita pada hari ini. Pihak majlis memohon maaf sekiranya terdapat sebarang kekurangan sepanjang perjalanan program ini. Sejemput Mr. Dedi untuk mendapatkan datang ke depan untuk menerima cenderamata.
Apa? Paling senang tu depan. Kim. Ada semua dapat. Semua. Tadi tu.
Bagi semua. You must help. Everybody must help.
Yeah, yes. Can we take pictures again? Can we take pictures again?
Ni dapat tak?
Phonizer.
Tu background pakai tu lah.
Boleh lah. Umar. Ajak gambar. Ajak tak gambar.
Persilakan semua orang datang ke hadapan untuk ambil gambar.
Apa? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Siap. Dia panggil.
Aku bawa.
Minta perhatian, diarahkan semua peserta pada hari ini untuk datang ke depan untuk sama-sama menangkap gambar. Maafkan saya ada sikit ralat. Dijemput kepada semua pelajar sejarah untuk datang ke hadapan untuk sesi menangkap gambar.
Freestyle.
Berakhirlah sudah program kita pada hari ini. Pihak majlis memohon maaf sekiranya terdapat sebarang kekurangan sepanjang perjalanan program kita. Semoga segala yang dikongsi hari ini memberi manfaat kepada kita semua. Sekian, terima kasih dan selamat maju jaya.
Aku nak gambar solo. Hari mantap hari. Mantap.
What you're talking about? I see. Now, how come you're from Sejarah? How come you have to be here? You chose to be here? You're sick here.
Government.
Semenanjung no sekolah lah, cara sekolah macam ni kan?
Jadi penuh.
I see. So, okay, you're from Semenanjung, where? Penang, Johor, Selangor? I see. Oh, Johor. Okay. Other than Semenanjung, have you been anywhere else, like China or Australia or England? Or just Semenanjung? So this is your second year? Or first year? So you've got a 4-year term? 4-year term. I like to hear very good.
Very good.
And other than Singapore, have you been to any other country? Only Malaysia. No. Just said you were 7 years. First year.
Semua primer tu. Salam.
We just want. I want
to hear very good.
Very good. Very good.
Sampai 14 hari lepas itu.
Minta semua pelajar sejarah untuk tunggu sebentar kerana ada sedikit update selepas ini.
Maklumat.
Semua jangan ambil dulu tau. Ikut.
Ramai kat masuk. 1,300. Ramai. Sangat ramai.
Jangan ambil dulu, sabar. Tapi boleh? Lecturer boleh je kalau nak stay. Tapi kita stay dulu, kita nak kemas, kita nak briefing balik macam mana dia, apa cabaran dia, apa kesilapan dia, apa kekurangan dia, and then kita akan improve itu. Angle tu memang dah nampak sini cantik. Cantik ni kau punya. Tak. Allah. Maaf. Ini sih orang nak
Pakai ni yang lala ni.
Montaj boleh lah, montaj. Kenapa lah aku tak gerakkan tadi macam ni?
Tahu tu.
Ya, aku macam kenapa apa tak gerak macam ni? Aku tak tahu.
Kita tak maju ni.
Aku mahu kamu dah datang ni, aku tak ngerti lah tadi nak betulkan macam mana.
Itu kau buat okey ni.
Ni aku buka, aku turunkan sikit. Buka ni benda cover. Macam ni sini. Oh, opal lah orangnya.
Not you taking the money, not you not making the money, you people are giving you the money. My preference is to be making the money.
Sampai pagi nak jadi.
So you have a choice.
Ya jadi.
To make the money.
Asal jangan lupa diri.
My choice is to make the money.
Sekejap.
Kalau pasal pau tu boleh lah tanya. Tak lah kan kita buat apa. Kan tak tahu je kita punya juga.
Ada yang sebenarnya depan tu. Besok benda ni kena ada awal.
So this is what, third year, second year, first year.
Itu bilik lain lah. Oh iya, tempat-tempat yang dia komputer. Kalau kita tanya, kita kena penceramah tu nak panggil kita dulu tak? Sebab kita dari dia.
Lepas tu kita kena suruh dia pakai mic. Lepas tu dia pakai mic walaupun dia pakai ni.
Dan mic kita nak soal tadi kan. Kali
nampak ada bulan. Sudah dikongsi tiba-tiba dah cacat.
Hari tu hiasan je.
Habis dia orang tu balik. Tak boleh tipai esok.
Kita akan ada sedikit break untuk
Okay, sampai sini saja siaran langsung kami pada hari ini. Ini saya tutup dari ini. Sekian, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Baim.